guys, welcome back to Any Sooner. As always, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Join the family. We're always excited to have you guys. Hey guys, welcome back to the Any Sooner. It's your boy JP. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna get right into it. Instant reaction to the OU Nebraska games. Got over about an hour or so ago. 23-16 was the final score. Oklahoma moves to 3-0, and Nebraska moves to 2-2 on the year. And here's what I think we learned from this game. Nebraska is not as bad as people make them out to be. One, and also that these are week to week performances. Okay, let's keep that in mind. Not only with college football, but also NFL, right? When we talked about it on the channel before, it's week to week, and I think sometimes we forget about that. Now, obviously, you want to see progression from week to week. However, sometimes a team can look seriously bad, like Nebraska did in week 1, and then they can blow out Fordham, who's Fordham, but then they can beat Buffalo, who's wasn't actually a bad team. I believe they won their conference last year, and then on top of that, Coastal Carolina almost lost to Buffalo today. Coastal Carolina is held in high esteem by the committee. They're ranked number 18. And so they only beat Buffalo by 3. Nebraska, I believe, beat them by 20-21. They had a couple late touchdowns. But regardless, the score is what the score was. And so people look at that Nebraska-Illinois game where everybody had their eyes on it, and Nebraska just looked terrible. Oh, they're going to get mollywopped by Oklahoma. And Oklahoma is not who we were expecting them to be. And it's not because of the defense. It's offensively. Spencer Rattler has not been what we've expected him to be. Last week is an aberration. Last week does not matter. We played Western Carolina. So I said, you like to see him do some good things, and he did some good things last week. That's what I talked about. However, he seemed to, at times, especially in the first half, regress to where he was against Tulane. And he got lucky a couple times not throwing picks. Here's the problem. I think he's full of himself at this point. He needs to completely, and I'm not going to say, I have some inside info. I'm not going to say it. But he needs to lock in completely. He needs to lock in completely. Because at this point, if he continues to play the way he's playing, it's over. We're not winning a national championship. We may not even make the playoff. I'm just being real. I'm being completely real. The reason OU had national championship expectations was because Spencer Rattler's in his second year under a proven quarterback tutor, whose 3 quarterbacks were top 3 in an analytic chart in the NFL in their performance last week in week 1. Top 3. Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts. All were drafted out of Lincoln Riley's, under his tutelage, out of his system. Spencer Rattler has, for whatever reason, not learned to trust Lincoln. And if he continues to not trust Lincoln, Lincoln will sit his butt on the bench if Lincoln knows what's good for the team. We saw him do it last year for Tanner Mordecai. He will do it again. And I'm not super hypercritical typically. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. I've always tried to give Spencer the benefit of the doubt. And he has the talent. But if he does not step it up, we will either, at best, maybe get to the playoffs, maybe, and at worst lose 2 to 3 games. I'm just being real. And we have a 5-star sitting on the bench waiting who's looked better in minimal time, mind you, but also provides a way, way more interesting dynamic offensively than Spencer does because he's twice the athlete Spencer is. And that's no disrespect on Spencer. Not that Spencer's a bad athlete. Caleb Williams is just like that. So he needs to figure it out. Otherwise, we're not going to be talking about a national championship. We're just not. If he had progressed, which he doesn't look like, it looks like he's regressed. If he had progressed from where he was at the end of last year, this wouldn't even be a conversation. We would have won this game by 21, 28 points because the defense did what they need to do. They held Nebraska to 16 points, really maybe 9. Had the interception. We were on the 3-yard line. We couldn't get it out of there, and we punted it. So that's kind of on offense for sure. But at the same time, again, 16 points. We would have killed for that when we had Baker or Kyler. I guarantee you that. So if our defense is going to hold people to 16 points, and Nebraska has scored, I believe, 30-plus points the last 2 weeks, If we're gonna do that, and Adrian Martinez, he made some plays. He's a maneuver. He's a Houdini, right? He did some things. He hit some people. He hit some throws he didn't hit the last couple of weeks, and that's okay. That happens. People play up to us. But again, what I'm saying is, if we can't figure out how to beat teams by 20 plus when our defense holds them to 16 points, we have a problem. Because that's what everybody was expecting to see. Us averaging 40 plus points a game and our defense getting to the point where they can hold teams to under 16 points. So it needs to get figured out, and it needs to get figured out quickly. And I think it will. I think that Spencer, again, will hopefully figure it out. I saw a tweet that said, this looks more like 2015 OU. I can agree with that. And you know what? Baker finally got it towards the end of the year. Now, it shouldn't look that way because this is Spencer's second year. However, we have time. You remember what our offense looked like up until the Texas game? It was way worse than this. So we have time. We have time, okay? So don't freak out. But you need to have your alert going off, because if he continues to progress like this, that is what will happen. The good thing is we got to win. Again, I think Nebraska is actually a quality team. They played well today. It's not like they played like trash. Now, they have some penalties, but offensively and elsewhere, it's not like they played like trash and we were just handing them the game. Offensively in the first half, sure, but defensively, that wasn't the case. Made tough catches. Adrian Martinez made some plays. Okay? Happens. Defense played, I think I give them a B+. Offense, a C. If that's maybe C-. Spencer, a D. Running backs look good. Offensive line really looked good. Maybe besides two plays. Besides that, they look pretty good. Wide receivers were fine, really. They didn't drop any balls. Stupid pass interference on Jaden Hazelwood, but that's another thing. Again, I'm not saying the sky's falling because we still got time, and this is a win. However, it needs to get picked up. And I don't care what people are going to say, oh, we're overrated. You only beat Nebraska by 6. Look, teams have been dropping like flies, being beat by teams they shouldn't have been beat by. So I'm not going to trip when we beat a former powerhouse. They're not that anymore, but at the same time, they still have the athletes. They're still a Big Ten school. They're a Power 5 opponent. Okay? At the end of the day, we got the W. However, we're not doing moral victories. Not this week. Nick Benito was amazing. 3 tackles for loss, 2 sacks. The defense, I told my wife when they got the ball at the end with 58 seconds left, I was not worried at all. Not necessarily because Adrian Martinez hasn't played well. He had played decent, but I was like, you know what? That's not Nebraska's strong suit, and our defensive line knows they got to hunt. And they did. Hunt is what they did. But they had 3 sacks those last 4 plays. I believe they had 3 sacks, if not 2 sacks. So I'm pretty much sold on the defense. Maybe not the secondary as much. DJ Graham made that excellent play, but they were spotty in some coverage. But the defensive line is monstrous. The linebackers look a little better today. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. We have 1 or 2 busted coverages that were a little concerning, but again, 16 points is 16 points. They gave you an opportunity, and they didn't produce a turnover today. So that's 1 too. Got to get it figured out. But we won. We're 3-0. West Virginia next week, and West Virginia doesn't look like a slouch. They just beat up on Virginia Tech. So we're going to have to bring our A game. Spencer's going to have to bring his A game. Otherwise, if he looked the same way he looked in next week's first half, I'm expecting a benching. Completely. I'm just going to be real with you. I hope he gets his head out of his butt. That's all I'm going to say about it. 3-0. Y'all continue to support us, like the channel, comment, subscribe, and hey, we'll see you back here next week. Boomer. I would do anything, they make sure I'm not in line.